Alright, so let's address the mammoth mech in the room. Let's talk Chima. I know a lot of us think of Legends of Chima as a sore spot in LEGO's history, but if you could get past the super campy first season and give it a chance, there's a fair amount of mythology and character development. It's a pretty good story about brotherhood, nobility, and hope in times of hopelessness. But there's something odd about the origin story of Chima's tribes. An origin story that isn't very satisfying. I'm Chris with the Brick Theorists, and today we're going to go back and figure out where Chima came from. Naturally, there's going to be spoilers on pretty much all of Legends of Chima. If you haven't watched the series and don't want it spoiled, pause the video, go watch the 900 plus minutes of the series, and come back here. Alright, so let's recap. Laval's father, Legravis, describes the origin of Chima as the Great Story in Season 1, Episode 2. Coincidentally named The Great Story. According to Legravis, Chima was filled with wild, non-sentient animals when suddenly a massive eruption brought Mount Kavora into the air and caused it to start draining chi water. The Lions describe the event as a spark from above and an earthquake below. And the Legends of Chima wiki notes that the animal head carvings were already there, forged by the Phoenix tribe long ago. In the Phoenix tribe, Tormach and even Liella have memories of the world before Chima fully formed. But of course, even the Phoenix tribe has to have an origin. The Outland tribes, scorpions, spiders, and bats, became sentient after Laval accidentally dropped some chi into the gorge. You done goofed, kid.
I wonder how that happened.
This sounds like a redux of the Great Story, so we can use some induction to assume that every tribe in Chima was mutated by the chi. Begging the question, what is chi? The Legends of Chima wiki describes chi as a powerful natural resource that flows through the sacred waters of Chima, giving life and energy to much of the kingdom. It contains the raw power of nature, compressed into an orb. Of course, can we really prove chi as a natural resource? It only comes from one source in all of Chima, and its effects are anything but natural. In fact, in episode 37, Fluminox hints that chi may have been a mistake due to his failure with the Great Illumination. Therefore, we can assume chi to be synthesizable, as you can't describe any phenomenon as a mistake without assuming an intelligence to blame. That's an interesting note that leads into my main theory. Chi is an ancient form of digital nanotechnology. Wikipedia defines nanotechnology as manipulation of matter on an atomic, molecular, and supramolecular scale. That sounds a lot like chi. Here's the list of basic things we know that chi can do. It can be plugged into weapons, equipment, vehicles, etc. It increases a person's strength, speed, stamina, and instincts. Balance is necessary to the balance of Chima, otherwise Chima will rip apart. Chi must be used eventually. It cannot just remain in the pool. We also see golden chi orbs, very powerful orbs that can terraform? There is our main clue. Also, note Legravis' explanation.
For centuries, the Golden Chi has chosen a different contest each month so that no one tribe shall have an advantage in winning it. What will it choose this time?
It seems like chi stores information, the kind of information you would need to transform living and natural objects. Put a bunch of chi together, and you can store a bunch of energy and information. Put too much chi together, and you have far too much energy to contain in just one batch. It has to be spread out, where the energy output will be far too much for the simple pool. Now, what if chi had the information to transform living organisms? Perhaps by editing their genetic code. This would allow for the animals in Chima to develop into smarter and stronger beings upon exposure. This would also allow for large, concentrated amounts of it to transform organic material however it wanted, like the Speedor's courses. So to use chi correctly, the Lions just need to let it collect into the appropriate orbs and plug it in just like that. Or like that. Or like that if you really have to. But where does the information come from? There has to be an intelligence behind the message, an intelligence that precedes every animal in Chima. Let's ask a different question. Why does Chima look so human? Or minifig. You get what I mean. There's no reason for a bunch of animals to naturally or magically transform from four-legged creatures to two-legged creatures. It's almost as if chi was programmed with a minifigure-like aspect to it. This same chi would also affect the minds of its hosts, giving them concepts like cars, swords, planes, motorcycles, etc. Four-legged animals have no reason to ride motorcycles. Additionally, The animals have a concept of language. They speak. All with varying tones and voices, of course, but they speak. This is unique considering it's the same language across all species over a course of several thousand years. From the hunter tribes to the Phoenix tribe to the modern tribes to the outland tribes, they all speak the same language. Languages naturally change and evolve over time when people add new words and phrases and meanings. Yet somehow, Chima-ese, I'm gonna get so much grief for that, hasn't evolved at all. So much so that the ancient hunter tribes speak perfectly with the modern tribes and the even older Phoenix tribe. Dare I say the language is programmed? We've drafted up some key observations about Chi. From what we've discussed, Chi is not natural. Chi can store information and energy. Chi has genetic information resembling that of a minifigure, and Chi can program instinctual behaviors. Now let's get into my own version of the great story, or my theory. But calling it my version of the great story sounds a lot cooler, and hopefully it'll just spike up the views on this video. Okay, I'm getting off subject. My theory. Chi is an ancient technology created by a minifigure society that quickly doomed itself to extinction. Now, there are a lot of ways this could go down, and without enough information, it'd be hard to pinpoint a specific storyline. So let's just go with one version of many ways in which this extinction could have led to Chima. It is several years before the rise of the Phoenix tribe. An advanced society of minifigures rules the planet, but life is harsh and their society is dying. To ensure their own survival, the minifigures develop a powerful storage technology to store their genetics, culture, language, and knowledge of their technology. However, their situation became more desperate, and they amassed large amounts of this technology, eventually developing it into a nearly self-sustaining power source. The technology is then enabled to make more of itself, to ensure a person could utilize it in desperate need. They named the substance Collective Human Intelligence. Haha, see what I did there? Unfortunately, the substance is delicate, and their work to create it was super rushed, kind of like a last-minute exam. So in the last human settlement, the minifigures raced to finish developing the Chi. Their work was sloppy, and the Chi reacted, unleashing all of its collective energy and annihilating the settlement. Every minifigure dies. But surprisingly, something survives. The pesky birds around the burning, red-hot, ravaged laboratory are transformed, developing minifigure bodies that can can utilize the fiery environment. The Phoenix tribe arises, not knowing what in the world happened. Fluminox tells the rest of the story in Season 3, Episode 4, Trial by Fire. The Phoenix tribe tried to enlighten the Groundborn fought back, Sir Fangar rose up, they had to use the Great Illumination to try and destroy the Hunter tribes, Great Illumination failed, Mount Kavor exploded, and the same thing happened all over again, this time infecting the whole land of Chima. Now the Lions will remember this as a spark from the sky and the earthquake below, or something like that. But every tribe in Chima reacts to the Chi and gains sentience. The substance reprograms their genes and instincts, giving them arms, legs, and visions of languages, cities, vehicles, weapons, and most importantly, clothing. Thank Kavor for that. And that, my friends, is my version of the great story.
It's more like a pretty good story rather than a great one.
Laval, just stuff it. And there you have it, faithful viewers. An entire civilization built from the ruins of a dead society. Either way, I hope this theory gives you a new outlook on Legends of Chima and the intricate worlds that LEGO creates. There are stories, yes, but there are plenty of gaps for the imagination to fill as well. Either way, there's a common theme throughout the story that LEGO tells and the story that I just told. The tools we use can create or destroy. All we can do is to learn to
Use it well. Use it wisely.
Thanks again for watching. For those interested, my sources are below. Like, comment, and subscribe. And special thanks to Bob Bricks for letting us use some of his art. He did this awesome Sir Fangar piece, and he's got loads more of awesome art. So go ahead and show him some love. Thanks again, and stay tuned for more Brick Theorists.
If you would like more information about the Brick Theorists, you can check out the top link in the description below. And if you would like to engage in more about the Brick Theorists, you can find me on social media such as Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.